All right. I'm going to share something with you that I think you're going to find valuable. Also, I want to give you some thoughts on the election results from yesterday. So I hope this show will be a fairly quick one, but one that you're not going to want to miss. And I'll get started right after this.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
So I'm being told that Police Chief Ricky Ramie, who was arrested, an administrative arrest, he wasn't cuffed and stuffed, but it was an administrative arrest for a criminal hit and run at 3:30 in the morning after leaving a bar on December 31st. And he was only caught because a citizen saw his big maroon dually drive off after he crashed into a parked car. And a citizen chased him down, cut him off, and got his ID. Otherwise, if this citizen hadn't done that, it'd just been another one. Just another hit and run, just another crash and get on home without telling anybody from the police chief. So the hearing is tomorrow morning at 8:30. The presiding judge is Circuit Judge Wade Mercer. And I thought it was going to be on Zoom, but I'm being told that you can watch it on YouTube live. First, let's take a look at what he did. It's on video. Now, understand, if there is a videotape, a security videotape from a restaurant or a bar, and you do what Chief Ricky Ramie did, Police Chief Ricky Ramie, and there's video evidence that shows you doing it, crashing into a legally parked car, doing thousands of dollars of damage to the car, getting out, looking at the car, giving some furtive glances, getting in your vehicle and driving on out of there. And then lying to law enforcement about the incident. You say, Bernie, what are you talking about? It is, I think I've shown this to you. It is, I know I have. It is in the FHP investigation report that when FHP finally was able to speak to Chief Ricky Ramie, that he described this incident you're going to see much differently than it happened. The FHP report says that Mr. Ramey's sort of recount of what happened did not match the video. Now, if that was any of us, we would have been slapped with lying to the police, interfering with an investigation, all of the things that Ricky Ramie in fact did. But he was never charged for that. Because remember, State Attorney Larry Bassford sent it on over to the governor, and it goes over to Larry Bassford's former girlfriend, who was the state attorney in Pensacola, Ginger Bowden Madden. And she evidently didn't find any reason to charge him with these things. You know what's going on. So never. But we're going to watch the sentencing hearing. But they've reached some sort of plea deal, evidently. And so the defense attorney and the prosecutor, Ginger Madden, and her assistant state attorneys, they're going to go in front of Judge Wade Mercer and say, we've reached a deal. All right. The prosecutors and the defense, we've reached a deal. Now, Ricky Ramie has the most powerful defense attorney in the circuit, Waylon Graham. What makes him so powerful, Bernie? Well, let's put it this way. There's an old adage, and it goes like this. Somebody asks a lawyer, what makes you so good? And the lawyer said, I know the law. Somebody asked a great lawyer, what makes you so great? And he said, I know the judge. Well, it's funny because there's truth to it. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's the case here. And by the way, I'll tell you that when I first got here in 2007 and started on the radio, the big story was the boot camp case with the 14-year-old Martin Lee Anderson who died. And everybody thought, well, not everybody thought, but the prevailing wisdom was that the boot camp drill instructors had killed this 14-year-old, had beat him to death and suffocated him. And the video looked terrible. And that's right when I got here. And I thought that's what happened. And then the sheriff's office, Ruth Corley at the time, Ruth Corley, who's still there and is a lovely woman and a talented public affairs woman over at the sheriff's office. I met with her, and Sheriff McKeithen was the sheriff. And she said that Martin Lee Anderson, the young man, died of natural causes, of sickle cell trait. And I remember looking at her thinking, wow. And I promised her, this is why I'm so frustrated with the sheriff's office. Sad, really, with what's happened with my relationship with the sheriff's office. And I did. I looked into it. And I had every medical examiner from the country outside of Quincy on the show. And I mean the top medical examiners across the country. And they all explained to me what happened. And the young man did die of natural causes. His blood cells sickled. He suffocated at a cellular level. It was incredible, an incredible story. And I told it. And it played out in the courtroom with Judge Overstreet exactly as it played out on my show, because I pursued the truth and found it. And Waylon Graham, the current attorney I was telling you is the most powerful attorney in the 14th Circuit. And I'll tell you why he is. He was an attorney for one of the drill instructors. Incidentally, so was Hoot Crawford. That's how I met Hoot Crawford in 2007. And Waylon Graham really liked me. And he might still. But the reason Waylon Graham, defense attorney, is so popular, or so powerful, is because he is the chairman of the 14th Judicial Circuit Judicial Nomination Commission. He helps decide who's going to be judges. And so, you know, people who want to be judges want to have a good relationship with him. He's very powerful. He's also good friends with lots of folks at the sheriff's office, and he's a defense attorney. So he's worked out some sort of deal. And State Attorney Ginger Madden over there in Pensacola, who got the case, evidently agrees they've got some agreement. I don't know what it is yet. So it'll be on tomorrow. Let me. Okay. Looks like we've got a little interruption. All right. Let me show you first, though, the actual incident, and then I'll show you where on YouTube at 8:30 you can watch this. All right. While I'm looking this up, and I'm going to show you the actual crash, let's hear another word from a sponsor.
Strong, effective leadership. 3 words that could mean the difference between prison and your freedom. I'm Al Saulene, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 850-215-0628.
All right, here's the actual incident as captured on the Newbies security video. There's no volume. You see that dually, big maroon dually pickup truck on the top right? That's Ricky Ramie. 3:30, he's trying to get around the white. You can see it at the very top right. He's trying to get around the white Mercury, the old Mercury. And it doesn't quite make it with the back left fender. Watch. Watch the car move. Watch the car move as he bumps. He's going to back up, get a running start, you know. Chief Ricky Ramie driving that big old dually. Here we go. Watch the white car. Watch the white car when the bumper hits it. You see that? Crashed into it right there. Now, Chief Ramie, he's looking over his shoulder and what the hell did I just hit? You know, he's going to get out. There's the police chief for Lynn Haven. He's going to walk over. A bunch of people have heard it, and they're kind of looking from a distance. Ramie looks in there, and he's going to give a little furtive glance here. Look around. All righty. See, there we go, looking around. And then Chief Ramie, who says he was suffering from a medical condition, he wrote a public statement. And then the attorney, see that guy, see that Hemi right there? That's the guy who catches him. He suspects he's getting in there. He's getting ready to go. He chases him down. So Chief Ramie said he had suffered a medical condition, and that's why he didn't leave a phone number for the poor victim that had his car destroyed. All right. Yeah, and it's an unknown medical condition. And it was a big deal because the lawyers at the city commission meeting said, you know, you better not ask about it because it's private. And but a lot of people did ask. A lot of people said, well, if it was so bad, if it caused him to forget, which was what Ricky Ramie said in the public statement, to leave his phone number, was it not quite bad enough that he was able to drive, was the question a lot of people were asking. But nobody's allowed to know. All right. And then you had the mayor of Lynn Haven, Jesse Nelson. He said that we can't do anything right now to Chief Ramie because of the 14th Amendment, the equal application of the law clause. You know, he says we got to treat him just like everybody else, and then they treat him like special. But anyway, that's Jesse Nelson, the 14th Amendment. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about that dude. His cadence, whatever it is, he's so he just cracks me up. 14th Amendment. Oh, don't do this. Does he not make you laugh? Oh my God. His big dumb face. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I can't. Dude is hilarious to me. Woo! Okay. Anyway, Mayor Nelson cited the 14th Amendment. Oh, please. And anyway, tomorrow is the sentencing hearing for Chief Ramie. And here's how you can watch it. Let me show you. It's going to be, there's a YouTube page for the 14th Judicial Circuit, and sometimes some of the hearings are on there. All right, let's see. All right, here it is. So this is where at 8:30 in the morning, you're going to have to go online, and I'm going to post the link in the comment section here. All right, here is the link. And you can see what I anticipate. There you go. What I anticipate happening, and it's just really a guess. And by the way, then what you'll do is you'll go to the live. Okay, when you get there and you go, there's nothing happening. You got to click on the live. See, watch. Okay, there. See, there was one posted 6 hours ago. And tomorrow morning at 8:30, I am being told that it will be live on YouTube right here. All right. You got it? 8:30 a.m. All right. So I'm going to get rid of that. What I sort of anticipate happening is that there's been a deal made between the powerful defense attorney that Ricky Ramie got and the state attorney, Ginger Bowden Madden's office. And I believe the deal that they've reached, that Judge Mercer will have to, okay, he has the authority to not, the judge can say, I reject the plea deal because it's so outrageous. Or he could accept the plea deal, which is highly expected because it's what most judges will do. And that's not even a criticism of the judge, really. It's a criticism of the prosecutor's office. And I'll tell you this, I don't know Judge Mercer, but I have heard from several people that he's a stand-up judge and guy and gentleman. And on that website, there was a hearing, a sentencing hearing of a guy who had a gun charge. He was a convicted felon, and he was caught with a handgun. It wasn't like he was doing anything wrong, but it looks to me like he was targeted. Cops knew he was a convicted felon. He was doing some like work on the gun. for somebody, and he got popped. And Judge Mercer showed in that hearing, I thought, great demeanor. What judges should have is sort of, context, just thinking it through and following the law and using discernment and wisdom and quite frankly, kindness. It seemed to me. I was impressed with the one thing I've seen of Judge Mercer. Tomorrow we'll watch this one. Yeah. Okay. So Brian asked about restitution. This is justice. Justice requires restitution. Okay. Chief Ricky Ramie, who makes a hell of a lot of money and has bags of cash that Sheriff Ford and him never told anybody where the 30 grand in the backpack went, but they were on a fishing trip. I don't want to get into that right now. But real justice would require that the guy who damages your car has to fix your car, pays for your car. Nobody, not Jesse Nelson, the mayor of Lynn Haven, or anybody, not a single official in Lynn Haven has mentioned a damn thing about the guy in the car that owns the car. I mean, I'm just saying, John Shea Jones got hosed. The real he got no one ever gives a damn. And quite frankly, nobody ever gives a damn, especially the people who are supposed to, about victims of crimes when the victims are Black. John Shea Jones is Black. And nobody gives a flip that his Mercury was tore up from the flow up by Ricky Ramie. Nobody gives a flip. NAACP, nothing, nada. My Democrat friends, nothing. My Black friends going up there defending the racist Ricky Ramie don't give a flip about the victim. Nobody ever does. I don't want to hear anything about caring about minorities or victims. Nothing. I saw how you treated the victim. I almost said her name. The 16-year-old victim of Hoot Crawford's. I see how you all treat victims. You use them for grant money and power and high salaries. That's what you do. But nobody gives a damn about victims. All right. So, Brian, best of my knowledge, not any restitution. John Shea Jones is going to have to pay for a lawyer, and then and then have a lawsuit against Police Chief Ricky Ramie. Who's going to do that? We already know about Ricky Ramie's vengeance, vulgar and vindictive behavior. Who the hell's going to do that? John Shea Jones shouldn't have to do that. So real justice would require that the police chief is treated at least the same as everybody else. But I would argue, as the chief of police, he should be treated to a higher standard, not a lower standard. But tomorrow, I expect there to be a lower standard. And the real fault belongs to the state attorney's office that took it under State Attorney Ginger Madden. They're the ones who are not doing what they're supposed to do. Waylon Graham is doing what he's supposed to do. But again, it's always the victim around here who is left out in the cold. But real justice would treat him, the offender, Chief Ricky Ramie, the same as everybody else, and require that he fix that car, pay for that car. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I expect him not to be adjudicated guilty. I expect there to be some sweet-ass deal. And again, the fault with all of that primarily lies, if that happens, with the prosecutors who don't treat people the same. As for Ricky Ramie, he should apologize. I've heard that he apologized to somebody recently. Said he's a changed man, and I pray that he is. I hope he is. But when I'll believe that when Chief Ricky Ramie goes to federal judge Mark Walker and says, hey judge, remember last year when I came here and said all these terrible things about Mayor Margo Anderson and James Finch and the rest of them? They weren't true. But I'm a changed man, and I'm asking for forgiveness. He also needs to have that conversation with the people he hurt, like James Finch and Margo Anderson and all of the rest. The woman he wrongly arrested, James Finch's wife, Ashley Finch, Mike Gordon. I mean, the list goes on and on. That's justice. That's restitution. That's forgiveness. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. The judge knows it. The defense attorney knows it. The state attorney's office, the prosecutors, they all know it. Mayor Jesse Nelson might be the only one who doesn't know it. I'll stop because I'll have a laughing fit in a minute thinking about it. All right. So you got that tomorrow, 8:30. So let me just give you very quick thoughts about the election last night. It went a little better than I expected it. I mean that. It went a little better than I expected it because I managed my expectations. I did not think that the underdogs in the big races for sheriff and state attorney, I didn't think they were going to win. I prayed they'd win. Did all I could. But Sheriff Ford, I was told a couple days before the election, was the most popular elected official in Bay County. I don't know if I believed it, but I do now. He won 80% to 20% over Andy Hussar. And I mean, he had all the big money, he had everything like that, anyway, but I think that Andy Hussar, the captain who retired last year and worked his ass off, only guy I've ever seen in a county race get all the signatures to qualify for to be a candidate. He worked hard. He's not a politician. He's not polished. Didn't have the money, but he did what nobody's done in 20 years, and he deserves a big salute for that. And that is challenge a sitting sheriff and make the sitting sheriff work. Now, there's plenty of room to criticize candidates. He had a different approach than Eric Garman. Eric Garman, who ran against Larry Bass for the state attorney, picked about 10 things that the state attorney's office, primarily the chief elected official, Larry Bassford, was doing that were conflicts of interest and so on and so forth. He had a different approach, and he lost 30 to 70, but he got a significantly bigger percentage of the votes. But I chalk that off as just a difference in personalities, right? Andy Hussar just had a different approach. I wish he would have listed 10 things wrong at the sheriff's office, because surely he knows, but that's not who he is. And all that we can ask of anybody is to be who you are. And Andy Hussar, big salute to Andy Hussar. If more people ran for sheriff and worked as hard as he did, things wouldn't be so easy for these incumbents. And losing 80 to 20 sucks. And I haven't talked to him today. I could only imagine that he's probably down a little bit. I don't know if he is or not. But I would say this to him: Andy, God bless you, man. Hold your head high. I lost a race in 2018 when I ran for city council in Panama City Beach, and I was the favorite. I was really embarrassed. I think I was the favorite anyway. That could just be my ego. But I lost that race, but I am so proud that I did it. I didn't want, when I'm gone, Somebody say, well, Bernie didn't even ever always talk politics, never even tried to run for office. I did try. Almost hurt myself. But and I'm real proud of what I did. And I knew the second I lost, I had a victory speech ready. I was with a bunch of people in a restaurant. Those of you who were there, you remember. And I was ready to give a victory speech, baby. And boy, did I have to pivot quick. And I did. And one thing that inspired me is Darrell Day. If you know Darrell Day, he ran against Guy Tennell and only lost by about 30 votes a few years before I lost. I think it was 2010, maybe, something like that. And he lost to Guy Tennell by like 30 votes. And Guy Tennell was the big favorite county commission race. And I was with Darrell when he was ready to give a speech. And it looked like he might win that. And he lost by a sliver. And I could see the disappointment in his face. And he stood up with it to his followers and gave a speech. Man, did I ever have so much respect for that. And I think I said when I lost, I said, greater men than I have lost. And I'll never forget the dignity that Darrell Day showed that day. And so, Andy, you were a big underdog, dude. And I have great respect for you. And I hope that we can be friends. I mean, real friends. I want to learn from you about how law enforcement works and what happens at the sheriff's office. But big salute. And the same goes for Eric Garman, of course. I have talked to Eric Garman, and Eric Garman's good to go. I mean, he's buttoned up. He's got a mission and plans, and so I know his state of mind. So I'm thinking of him a little less today than I am Andy, because I just want Andy to know how much I appreciate his efforts. All right, I talked a little too much about that. A couple more things. The great thing that happened yesterday is that Tommy Ham lost. The incumbent commissioner, Tommy Ham, got his ass kicked. And he really did, because he was running against, of course, Ron Keel, who bought ads on this show, and Dan Raffield, who I never mentioned in that. Whenever there are two people running against an incumbent, it usually benefits the incumbent, because the two people will usually take from each other votes. In this case, Ron Keel did tremendous. You say, Bernie, he only got 16% of the votes. If you look at the amount of money Ron Keel spent versus a regular dude, a veteran, versus how many votes he got, 16%. Wow. That's probably better per dollar than anybody in any race. But Raffield was able to get 13,000 votes, and Tommy Ham only got 10,000. This was a situation where enough people knew about Tommy Ham, and he needed to go. So that was super exciting. And I hope that Dan Raffield, who has policies I don't agree with, and who is a really nice guy from what I've seen, and who I think has good people in his corner, has a lot of people donating to him that I'm uncomfortable with, but whatever. I just ask that Raffield, when you raise your hand and take the oath, that you do good. We disagree on policy. We disagree on local preference. Big deal. But man, do good. If you see something happening that's wrong, stand up for the people. Make your creator proud of you, man. Do good things in there. That's all I ask. Kind of what I ask of Stuart Tetemer, the new mayor of Panama City Beach. If we don't agree on policy, okay, but do good things. That's all I ask. All right. Yeah. And then, of course, the state committee seats. These are the Republican state committee man and the Republican state committee woman. And George Norris, a fine gentleman and the right guy for the job, he won handily. And everybody expected that from Mr. George Norris. The other race, though, the other race between the ladies, Mitzi Prater. You talk about somebody who's been hanging on along. She's a very, very much an anti-Trumper. She's kind of nasty. I mean, she makes really nasty posts and stuff. And Anyway, she was ahead in the state committee woman race, Bitsy Prater. And when the early votes and the mail-in votes came in, but boy, Nancy Viejo came from behind and won by a sliver. Nancy Viejo, a great woman and a great candidate for Republican state committee. Whew, Nancy Viejo with a grassroots campaign and the victory. Incidentally, the state committee woman, Mitzi Prater, who wanted that position but lost, her husband was running for the state committee man against George Norris. So it was like husband and wife wanted to be the state committee people in Bay County, and the people said no to that. So that was interesting. Anyway, that's about it. That's about all I have for today. I have some announcements that I'm so eager to tell you that you're going to love. But I think it's a little premature. And one thing I don't ever want to be is premature. I got to get home because I swear to God, I am in a mood. I just that's something that I don't want to do, and I won't. Okay. Yeah. Oh, the Beacon scooped me, huh? All right. Again, huh? The ladies over at the Beacon of Bay County, you got to subscribe if you want to get the news before I get around to it, because I may not. All right. All right. All right. I'm sorry, Carla. I'll behave myself. I'm going to get out of here. And remember, 8:30 tomorrow on YouTube. I've put the link in here. Heck, maybe I'll even show it to you while it's happening. What do you think about that? All right. I will see you very soon.